Hola, and welcome back to Coffee and Chaos. Sorry, I wasn't prepared. Solomon was like on us today, and I had to turn my phone off. My apologies, but we're back. Don't look at me like that. Don't. Tom's ready to go. So
prepared.
If you're new, this is Tom.
Hello, everybody.
He is our argumentative, manly man of men. Mr. 300 all by himself. He ain't even arguing. He's like, yep, keep going. He's like, I sure am. And this is lovely Trina. He's like, yay. Don't bop your head, please.
Yeah.
We can't be bopping tonight.
You gotta keep it still.
You gotta keep still. And then Tony. Tony's
I'm back.
I can't look at you or I'll just start laughing. Like, I can't.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah. And then Solomon, the one that I feel like you're the parent that holds us all like.
Oh my God.
Together.
Why are you dating me now?
No.
I don't
The glue.
I wouldn't be considered anybody
Yeah, no,
the
okay,
parent.
you're the glue. There you go. Okay, let's retract that. You're the glue that holds us all together.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I couldn't think of a word. Sorry, my bad. Oops. I'm not. You are younger than me. So, okay. Well, everybody's week was good. Everyone's ready for this.
Yeah.
Great. I had a
This-
great week.
Topic. I actually don't. We all have experience, but I don't have the experience that three of you have, or even Solomon, the experience that you have. So,
I like that.
And then me being, because I try to be very pro men, but I also like to lift our women up, and I feel like that's why Tom and I do so good on here, because he is a manly man, but I have to argue because you feel that there's a million of you out there, right? I have you to come on because you literally understand me.
Yeah.
Like you speak Alina. Does that make sense?
To a certain extent. I'm not as traumatized.
Yeah, that's So today's topic is, and we got it because Trina made a comment on a podcast, the second podcast she was on.
I was speaking from my experience.
About serving her husband.
My man.
And a lot of women had some opinions about that. So I had to have her back on because I want her to stand her ground.
It's all your fault.
It is.
That's why Tom's here.
Yeah, that's why Tom's here. So, do we serve our men? And if we do serve our men, are they men that we're actually serving, or are they boys? And do men ever serve us?
I
Oh.
served my man. I served my dad. I served my brother. So I think obviously everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But like I said before, that's how I was raised. That's what I saw growing up. So
Do you think it's because you are Samoan?
That's what I was going to say. It's
a cultural thing? Because I know for us being Mexican, it is a cultural thing for sure.
it could. Well, yeah, because I feel like that's what I see in our Samoan culture. But I think even aside from that, because my kids they're mixed, they're Mexican and Samoan, they're gonna,
And we're
like
all
I said,
brown in the same.
yeah. But I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that. But it has a lot to do with the way that I was raised, what I saw growing up. Were the situations that I were in, even when I was serving before, like my ex-husband or whatever before, were they always in a good light? No, but I still did it. I did it with grace, and I did it because that's how I felt in my heart that it needed to be, whether I was in a good situation or not. I'm not saying that someone should treat you like crap and you're serving them as they're doing you wrong, but I feel like I do things with grace, and because that's how I want to be treated. And then now looking back, I don't regret it. I mean, I had to go through things so that I could be who I am today. I have a servant's heart.
I feel you on that one. And I don't think there's anything wrong with having a servant's heart. People like to say you're an enabler. And I feel like there's a big difference between being an enabler and having a servant's heart.
Mhm.
And for us and how we are with our families, we're givers. You know, we like to make everybody happy. We like to do for our family.
Right.
Well, we talked about it at your birthday. We were saved to serve.
Yeah, because at my birthday, I was taking care of everybody, still taking care of my grandma. But that's actually what makes me happy.
Mhm.
Like, I like making sure that everybody's okay. Everybody has what they need. I get that it was my birthday, but we're there celebrating me and what I like to do and those people that were with me. So, Tom, I know you're ready to go in.
Well, I mean, I agree. It goes both ways. It's not that the woman has to be doing the serving all the time. Like I was telling you earlier, like I make breakfast for my girl. I sit her down and serve her, you know, but I serve her because, you know, I want to be good to her.
Yeah.
Like, and the same thing. So when we take this attitude on that, oh, I don't want to serve him. Like, and the crazy thing is, it's like, you know, my friends and I were talking about it, and it's like, you know, us guys are pretty simple, right? Pretty simple for a small investment. It's like you put $10 in, you're going to get 100,000. Who wouldn't put that investment? So you serve your man once in a while and give him a sandwich and you know, some lemonade or something, right? And you take care of him like that, and then 9 times out of 10, the woman gets mama's getting what she wants. Yep. You want this kind of car? You want that kind of stove? You want your remodel this color, this house? You get it.
Yeah.
And she gets it, right?
Yeah.
And so it's crazy to me when I hear this, when these girls are like, I'm not gonna, but then you ask, like, and with me and my girlfriend, people ask, hey, you know, how does he treat you well? Yeah, I treat her well. But do I not get treated well too?
Right.
So does it go in one way?
Just goes both ways.
And you know, but when you've got this wall up that you're so unwilling to do that, like you're shooting yourself in the foot, I think.
Yeah, I think it comes from, and different reasons, like a lot of women are guarded and hurt from their previous relationships.
And they're taking it on.
So,
to the next person.
but they're taking. So now that's something that you got to deal with in your own growing, in your own deal that you haven't worked through, that you need to work through and forgive and do whatever else, and stop because your picker was broken. Don't blame the next guy because I'll be straight up with you. You know, if these men that are allowing that behavior, right? They allow it like, hey, she doesn't really ever do that or ever serve me. If my woman would not serve me and give me a plate and help me out when I'm out in the backyard and I'm chopping down a tree and I'm saving us $350 for the landscaper and you can't make me some lemonade and a sandwich, like if my woman wasn't
staying right there.
Look, if my woman's serious, if my woman didn't do that, I'm done.
Right.
Like, you know, I'm not.
But don't you think it's not even.
But so what it does to this man, though, what I'm saying is, the minute she does it, right, she already started disrespecting him, and this is what happens. So I'm, you know, I want to get diverted. We'll get so what happens is that's the same thing. Now you're walking down the street with this man, and a guy across the street says, "Hey, mama, I like that fat ass." This man, you would want that man to say, "Hey, don't let him talk to me like that."
Right.
That bitch is not going to say that. Why? You've already started being a bitch. You already allowed this bad behavior by somebody else.
Yeah.
You're not going to say nothing to that guy, right? Because you're showing that you're allowing it, and she already, like, you've already shown you're willing to accept bad behavior. Mm-hmm. You're willing to accept this. And I'm telling you right now, by you not having your, you have, I'm losing my train of thought. But anyway, you have your guidelines, you have whatever, like, and there's just certain things like, man, just out of love, you just should want to do that for me because everything I do for you is out of love. Hey, babe, I'm over here at the market. I've seen this. I know you like it. I'm going to stop and get it. Like whatever it is, like, hey, like you should constantly trying to, put a smile on each other's face. Right. And you can't serve me a plate of food. Like, I just find it just trips me out, and that, again, it's just like you guys are messing with boys and you expect a man.
Yeah.
And then you got these men. So I'm going to defend the women now. You have these men, right, that are lame motherfuckers. Straight up
We call
machismo.
them weenies.
Excuse me. Yeah. My cuss words, but just lame machismo guys that act all cool. Like I need to have my boots taken off and this and that when I get home and,
Kiss my feet
and do all this stuff. But
I can't stand that either.
But you can't even take out the trash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you're not really doing like, because I've seen it like this guy wants all this kind of behavior, but I've seen his old lady taking all the trash cans out. Like,
But
what are you doing?
She's also allowed that bad behavior, though.
That too.
She hasn't stuck up for herself.
But then the women want to take that and like, well, I'm never going to do it. Well, maybe if you found a real one, if you found a real man, I bet you probably would because, it's a whole different deal. But you're messing with this guys that aren't, and now you got your walls up and you've been hurt and you're going to.
And that happens because there was somebody that posted on my TikTok that just said like, I will never serve a man. And I asked her why, like, can I ask why? Because I can't assume, right? And she just said, I did serve my ex. She's like, but my husband now I don't serve. He does his own thing. And I wanted to ask her, like, would he want you to? Would he like you to? Or is it something?
Well, see, that's where, like, with like myself, like I was saying before, I was like, until I talked to Tom about it, and was like, I was for making my own plate, like with my ex-wife, and I was like, serve the kids so that I could eat with you. But she consistently would always just serve me first, and I'm like, so I'd eat the food, and then the kids would eat, and then by the time I'm already almost done, she's barely sitting down. I'm like, oh, let me go get that second serving so I can sit and eat with my wife.
I've never,
or my ex-wife.
I've never, like, because I've had the kids, and then like either my sister's kids or even my brothers, I've served them. I think until my older years that I dated somebody and we were at my house and I was cooking and I gave him his plate and he's watching the game and he just sat there. So then I finished doing whatever and I got my plate and I was like, you didn't eat? He's like, why would I eat by myself? I came to eat with you. And I was like,
Right.
huh? Like I've never, ever in all my years ever had that till him. And I was like, oh, wow. Like he sat and waited. I was like, but now your food's probably cold. And he's like, it's okay. Like I'm waiting for you I'm here to eat with you. And I never experienced that before.
And also too, like even at a restaurant, like if we're eating and my food comes first, I'm gonna wait. I'm all this looks real good, but I'm gonna wait.
It's gonna be cold now.
But I think it's a traditional thing, and it doesn't matter what ethnicity you were. It started where the men worked and the women did not. So the men would expect to come home and there's dinner there and you cook. And it's kind of like his job is to go to work and your job is to take care of the household. That's what it used to be.
As they said, a homemaker.
It's all changed now. And now there's two people that have to work. And sometimes the lines are, crisscross.
Right. And that doesn't mean that you don't do it to her too, though. You don't, hey, baby, here's a glass of wine. Sit down right there while I'm making dinner tonight for us.
Or
like,
even
it's
just preparing the food. I'll jumpstart it. Yeah. I'm going to get off early or whatever.
But it doesn't go out the door to be like, well, there's just certain things that kind of make sense, right? Like, hey, she kind of wants to serve you, right? She wants to serve you, and you want to protect her. Like, hey, I tell you what, like my roommate said, yeah, she serves you so you don't starve, and you serve her so she doesn't get, killed. Yeah. You protect her so she doesn't get killed. Yeah. Right? It's just like right off the bat, it should just be a natural movement. It doesn't have to be like this.
It's not forced.
Yeah, it's not forced. It's not a struggle, a tug of war.
Yeah,
where's my plate?
Yeah, you're not begging her to serve you.
Yeah.
And she's not begging you to protect her. Just like when my husband and I got together, it wasn't like we had a discussion and he said, well, first things first, I need you to serve me. You know what I mean? Like,
here's the rules and regulations, right?
I think when I did do it, it was kind of like he was taken back. Even for one of my stepsons that at the time he lived with us, I would serve him. And he would go, oh, no, it's okay. Like, I'm just not used to that. And I said, it's okay. Like, I want to serve you. So once that became, the norm, then he understood. Like, because even then when I moved in, it was my husband and one of my stepsons. And he worked. He was a casual at the time. And he was, at the hall for however many hours early in the morning and at the hall at night. So I served him. It wasn't because I needed to win points with him. Right. I served him because that was me. That's how I wanted to be. And it's not for everybody. And I think when I did say it and then like it was brought up, I didn't want it to seem like, oh, all the women out there, you should just serve your man. No. Yeah. Because it's
not all of them deserve it.
And if that's not on your heart, then don't do it.
He doesn't make you feel like he's superior than you, and that's your job.
But my husband serves me in his own way. Right. He goes to work. He wants to do those things. That's his way of serving me. That's we all love differently.
Filling your cup.
Yeah.
And it took me a minute too to even get used to that, right? Because when we got together, I worked, but I wasn't doing, half as much as whatever he was doing. And it took me a minute to get even used to that, the way he wanted to serve me.
Mm-hmm.
And then he told you to chill.
Yeah, he didn't want me to go to work.
Yeah, because Alina was in high school.
And I told my mom, he just wants to control me. Like, he wants me to stay home so he can control me. But then that was me. That was the broken Trina, the Trina that got married and had insecurities. And you know what I mean? Like, I had to repent of those things to my husband so he understood, look, I'm coming in like I'm completely insecure. I feel like I'm thinking you're going to cheat on me. And my husband was like, girl, I'm in my he's 15 years older than me. He's like, I'm not here for that. We're not here for that. That's not what we're doing.
Right.
So me serving him even more, like I'm thinking of more and more like of our future. He's going to retire soon. Like I'm going to serve him till I can't serve him no more.
I will say though, like with these other people, when they see this love and this magic going on, and everybody from the backside looking at the way that two people love each other. To me, when I see, that's beautiful. I think it's
absolutely.
so freaking like touching to me, like, and I love it. So, yeah.
And we're not going to have we're not going to have a perfect marriage. I'm not going to be a perfect wife. He's not going to be a perfect husband. But the things that have collated so that we could be where we're at, it took a lot. Yeah. He came from wherever he came from and being married when he was married. And I came in, like my mom said, I came from I was broken.
Right.
So if I'm going to serve him, I'm going to serve him. And then if everyone is entitled to an opinion on me saying, I'm never going to do that. And it's okay. Like, you don't have to do what I'm doing. Right. And I feel good of where I'm at as far as,
You served him, and in serving him and him showing you the man he is, it healed you. So now you do want to continuously serve him because he just makes you happier and happier.
Yeah,
happier.
Just like that TikTok you sent, and the woman was like, she was irate. Like,
I wish I would have had
she this, she that. And I was like, good. I mean, that's good for you. But all that energy that it took to be so upset about it, like, if you do it with grace and know that you don't have to do it, you want to do it, you don't need to do it. You're going to do it because this is your family. She said she's a clean person. Like, you want it to be clean. Like,
but coming home to your husband sitting on the couch and the kids there, and she was so irate during that because I sent it to you. That's also your fault because you're allowing your kids to not do anything. You're like Tom talked about his 4 boys before. Like, I have 4 boys. Why am I throwing the trash out? Right? Like, you're coming home to a man sitting on the couch. That's the man you chose, homegirl. Like, your kids are not doing anything. Like, at some point, like he said, you've allowed the bad behavior to get to this point. So
now you're upset.
So for me, like, I'm not in a relationship, but I on Sunday was hosing down the backyard so that Seth, Michael, BJ, Loran, even my mom could go back in the backyard and do whatever the heck they feel like doing, right? And I'm sitting there going, my little brother was in the house. Michael was in the house gossiping. They're talking. Seth's asleep. And I said, oh, this is the last Sunday that I'm doing this. Like, I told the boys that day, like, I'll pick up my dog's poop because those are my dog's poop.
Yeah.
However, I'm not hosing it down. You guys want to go back down there and it's not smell like dog piss? You're hosing it down. Like, but that's my fault for doing it this whole time.
It's not your fault.
And allowing that, And
but
Seth
now
was like, well, you didn't. I was like,
you shouldn't have to, right?
Yeah. But I've also done, like, I called him 2 weeks ago and I said, oh my God, the gardener's around the corner. I didn't pick up the dog poop. He's like, Mom, I got it. He's within 5 minutes, I got a text message, dog poop. Those are the things that woman that came home on that TikTok and she's mad about. If you don't put your foot down in your house, they're going to walk all over.
But so to that kind of said though too, right? Because I've been in that situation. So with me, we've talked about it before. I would come home and I'd be like, hey, look, Mom, being here in an hour. Like, you go take out the trash.
Yep.
Yeah.
You delegate. You start delegating.
Yeah.
You grab all the stuff that we're going to eat.
I would do that with my kids
bringing
too.
it out, right?
Yeah.
And so we all tag team.
Yeah.
You clean off the counters and the tables, right? And then, you know what? To maybe this man or to whoever, like, hey, you know what? It looks sufficient to me, right?
Yeah.
It looks pretty good. But then some people are neat freaks and some people are like too. And they come and all they see is what wasn't done. Right? They didn't see that it was all this certain way before they got there.
That is,
and
I
it
got
all
that all
got
the time.
cleaned up.
I got that
So
all the
they
time.
walk into only the sweater's still left on the floor and the this and that. But you didn't know we cleaned all this other stuff and mopped and did all. So that's the problem with that. And
Your
might
cleaning
think,
is
hey,
different than my
I did
cleaning.
pretty dang good right here, right?
like I can't even comment because he's so right. Like
Yeah, so flip it on the opposite side though too. How would you like it if I was the man coming in and say, "Damn, you couldn't even have it all clean"? That's not cool either, right?
Yeah.
Like she did a lot, man. She's already done all this shit, man. Maybe the kids got all their homework done.
Yeah.
Maybe she was busy with all that stuff. So hey, take everything into consideration. The problem is we're not, and we're just like.
But I think you have to voice back to the TikTok and like what Tom was saying about the kids. Like for me, when Loran came home from college and kind of was trying to figure out what she was doing, she had worked, but not like her career yet, right? Seth was in high school, and I remember walking in the house after work one day, and they're on the couch laughing, watching TV. Well, there was dishes in the sink and the trash, and I lost my shit. Like I will never again come home to that, and my kids just thinking that's my job.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, in their head, mom's bipolar. Mom just snapped on.
Oh, we had to make sure that was done before my mom got home. Me and my little sister.
Well, even to this day, like if dishes are there for like half a day, I'll leave them there and go to work. But I'll get a text message from Seth with a picture of proof, like dishes are. And what I've learned, because I would come home and see something wasn't done, and I would lose my shit. Now I'll come home and there's a pot on the stove, and I'm like, you know what? It's just a pot on the stove. The dishes were done.
Right.
Because I was breaking their little rainbows, I guess, right? Like crushing their little hearts. Like, well, I did all this and you weren't even happy. And I had to stop. That's why when he said that, I was like, oh, I was guilty of that. Yeah. So he tries as best as he knows how at this point, right? As he gets older, he'll clean the kitchen fully, like we clean the kitchen fully.
Yeah.
But I had to stop that because I did that. But now he knows. But I had to stick my foot in those kids' ass in order for them to get to a point where they're at today. And I feel like that woman in that TikTok, you can't come home and bitch and scream and cry and yell and shout that you're tired and feel unappreciative if you're not enforcing the rules that need to be done.
Yeah.
Because even men, with all due respect, like I know Tom's going to lose his shit right now. Like we have to train them. Like we have to mold them. Yes. Like
if they're not already.
Seth is about 80% trained, and I tell him, but your wife's going to come in and tweak it the way she likes it, not the way I like it. So I can train him as much as I can.
When he took that deep breath, I'm like, oh.
Hey, it's true. Like guys are simple. They'll it's kind of okay. Oh, she kind of likes this.
Yeah.
Make sure it's
That's why I said your cleaning is a different type of cleaning.
Do you take notes? Or do you wait? Not actual notes, but like mental notes.
To everything.
Or
I look at so much details. It's incredible.
Like you always have, or always. You just.
I look at everything.
Okay.
Like what color she likes, what's her favorite dessert? What are those going to be?
Like
those
you would
things?
know.
What like is she?
I'm that way.
Dishes. Like for instance, I
I won't
girl,
take mental.
My
like,
girl
you would know
cannot
order.
deal with dishes in the sink. That's her thing. Like there could be other stuff. Maybe it's not the floor's not mopped and stuff, but dishes, it just drives her nuts. I already know that.
I feel like that's the Latina in her, though. Like, that's like our thing. Like,
I don't go to sleep with dishes.
Yeah, she doesn't.
No,
she'll go home. It'll be 1 o'clock in the morning, and they left it all out. She'll do the damn dishes.
But let me ask you: does she get mad because, like you said, Trina, it's a servant's heart. I've learned today now, and I'm not saying overpiling because but I'll come home and sometimes they're there, and I'm just grateful that Seth is still home because if not, I'd be alone with Grandma, right? And there's something there, and like the other night, he had in and out and left it. It wasn't worth the argument because then tomorrow he'll do something that I needed done, and I didn't even ask him to do, and it was done, right?
I mean, I guess.
So does she come home and do it at 1 o'clock in the morning, or is she like, oh, these freaking kids and da da da?
Oh yeah, she'll get irritated with the kids. She's like, fudge, they left that shit out. They've been there all day.
Yeah.
She'll get irritated with that, but I just know that's something that bugs her. So it's just taking mental notes.
Yeah, I was like,
make sure our name's never going to do that one, right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So, but I won't mop the floor then. She ain't tripping on that one.
It's all scuff marks all by the sink.
Do you use Fabuloso when you mop your floors, or what do you use? I have to use that. I have to.
What?
Wait, which one? The purple one?
The purple one. I like the purple one.
Yeah.
I got an orange one right now.
Do you?
Orange one?
Yeah, I got the orange one.
It is hard for
like
me to
the
mop
purple.
because I have
What scent
grandma.
is that?
No,
like
it's got
orange
it.
or
Is it new? Because there's the green
limited
and the
edition.
purple.
and the
I think it's a new
blue,
one.
Oh, and the
Yeah.
blue.
I think it's a
orange.
I'm still stuck on the
Orange.
purple.
Well, my roommate got it.
I'm about
yesterday.
to go to Target and see this orange.
Okay, I have a
one.
question for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one, do you believe that men learn how to love from their mothers? And two, because this is back to what I'm used to growing up and what I've seen growing up. In our house, my mom did all of that, did the cooking, the cleaning, and she was a housewife when I was growing up when we were in school, right? But then she always worked and still did all those other things. And I think that's probably the mentality of where my sister and I are like, you can work, you can cook, you can clean, you can take care of the kids and take care of your man. There's no reason why you can't. You just do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't complain and you're happy and everyone's good. Do you think that like when you were growing up, did you just like, were you raised to like throw out the trash and like the boys do this, the girls do this? Because my brother threw the trash out.
Yeah, see, with me, I grew up
And
with
he
a single
still does.
parent, and we all just had to do it.
But do you think
There
that's
was
because
no-
you were a single? Because she was a single mom?
Yeah, like
So you guys
did dishes. I freaking put the
Yeah.
dishes away. Me
I
and my
mean, that
sister
was
had to
still, there was
rotate
still
it.
other
I take out
stuff
the
that I
trash
would
though.
do, like whether it was vacuuming or something like that. It wasn't just like a man duty, but
Okay.
mowing the lawn, trimming all the weeding,
Did
all
your
the stuff.
sister
in
do
the
any of that
weeds.
stuff?
No,
Yeah.
What'd your sister do?
she would do dishes and
He's like,
mop
talk shit.
the floor.
No.
Talk shit, but you didn't do that.
Do well, no, not necessarily. I mean, I would do that too, though, if my mom asked me to do that.
Okay.
You know, it wasn't a particular. This is
This is what
exactly
girls do and this is what the
designated to
boys-
you, and this is
Yeah.
I made that
designated to you.
mistake.
Yeah.
You know?
Seth only did the boy things and
Uh-huh.
Moran only did the girl things.
But
that was wrong.
in life, you're by yourself.
Yeah.
You ain't got I ain't got nobody, and then I'm not gonna. If I don't know how to cook, I don't know how to do none
Right.
of this stuff. Then I'm screwed. Like I don't know how to do laundry. I don't know how to do anything. Like so, I think it's fine for you to know like how to do it. And
So wasn't
for
it
you
an adjustment for you then because you were married before and all these things were done a certain way, right? And then now you
Now
had to
I'm
learn
doing it
how to
myself?
relearn how to do all those things.
I'm
No,
guilty of
I've
that.
always known how to do
Oh, you
the
had to
stuff.
relearn?
Well, I
Yeah,
live with
not
my
relearn,
dad,
but like it's like
I
gotta
stayed and
do
lived
this
with my
now?
dad for a long time, right? So we were two single. Like I was a young man, like 13 years old, whatever, with my dad. So it's like we already were going to the laundromat together, doing our laundry, making whatever food. And then you don't want to starve. My dad probably ain't gonna make me shit. I gotta learn how to make something, right?
Oh.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say that I learned from my mom. But I would say that I picked up things from everybody that I liked the way the relationship and when it worked. So
Okay.
I'm like, man, I see that. Like, for instance, if I saw you and your husband it working, I'm like, that's so beautiful. I love that. Now I want to implement that in my, because I could see where my aunt and my uncle, the way they were, and I was like, I like that. And I
Okay.
just kind of, because my moms and dad, they didn't have that. My mom really didn't want to serve my dad because my dad was a jerk half the time anyway. So probably that's why she was like, well, then screw you, right? So I didn't see that harmonious, great relationship in them. So I wouldn't want to model that.
Yeah.
So I looked elsewhere. And,
What about you, Tony?
I won't my upbringing was different. I mean, obviously single parent with my mom, and I just
2 sisters.
yeah, 2 sisters and well, technically 3 with one that my mom still continuously picked up when my dad wasn't around.
Yeah.
Driving back and forth to East LA or Echo Park, I'm sorry, and bringing her back and just being around nothing but women and just I guess that's where like
That's why you're so sensitive.
yes.
She just said you
I-
were sensitive.
yeah,
on the
He said
podcast.
that.
Yeah. No, I did. I said I'm
That
sensitive
earlier.
like my car.
I'm just repeating what
And my car
I'm
alarm.
just repeating what he said.
No, I had that soft spot. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like I
that's
learned that from being around nothing but
Yeah.
women. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And I had
Do you
to
think
learn
that's
different things like as far as like
why you're more attentive? Like,
yes.
because listening to the two of you, like, everybody will tell you, I'm a horrible girlfriend and don't remember your birthday. Not even a horrible girlfriend, horrible friend. I don't do gifts really good. Like my kids will tell you, like Seth will tell you, don't ask her for a Christmas list because she doesn't look at anything on there. I'm not a shopper. I'm so much more of a tomboy actually than I am a girl. So I'm not as attentive as you two guys are. And I'm like, wow, I'm really lacking. Maybe that's why I'm single. Like Because literally, I will, unless I have it written down, I will forget everyone's birthday. Unless there's a note somewhere loud and clear, like
Alina,
I'm not
you
good.
have an iPhone with a calendar.
I know, but unless I like, so if you were to ask me when is my best friend's birthday right now, I have no clue. But as soon as we're done, I'm going to go on her Facebook and go, oh yeah, I can't forget it's that date.
I'm not good with dates.
I'm horrible.
I'm not good. I'm with detail of I can remember
Like,
those.
I know-
but with dates, like no.
Yeah.
I'm
Gina's somewhere around December. Kathy's somewhere around June. And Anjanette's is also somewhere around December.
Yeah.
And God, Vivian's I'm telling, and these women, when they watch this, they're going to be like, don't ever talk to me again. So
They're gonna
Damn, you
text
just
you
lost
the
like
birthday.
4 or 5 friends right now.
I did. But they know that about me. Like, you know, like Kathy will literally send me a list. I want one of these 4 things for my birthday. And I'm like, oh, on it. Like,
By when?
Well, in my
when do you want it by?
I treat my girlfriend
When's
like
your
it's her
birthday?
birthday every day, so I don't need to know all the dates.
Right. Wait,
I said in my defense, I treat my
are you
girlfriend.
a Gemini?
Yes.
So am I. I knew it. So, are you lying?
No, I'm June 1st.
You just made Trina's whole
Are you kidding me? I knew there was something. I knew there was something about you when you said that, because that's what I say. That's a Gemini. Tony, what in the world? Get me out
I'm
of
a
here.
Libra.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
man.
funny.
You want to be my other brother?
A bunch of my compadres are Gemini, my dad.
Oh
a bunch
my
of my closest people
goodness.
I'm around.
I'm going to call
I
you
always
next
get
week
along
and
with
go, what are you doing? Well, me and Tom, and we're all double dating.
Wait, he just said his birthday. When's your birthday?
June 1st.
I got to remember that.
72.
When's your birthday?
September 29th.
I got
Are you a
some time.
Virgo?
No, I'm a Libra.
Okay. I know you're.
I'm a crybaby. I already know. I'm a Pisces. Cry
Yeah,
for everything.
water side.
Hey,
Yeah.
Tony.
Wow.
we get along good.
I'm
Tony,
a
yours
Gemini,
is a
May
day before
21st.
mine.
What were
Oh,
you
really?
Yeah.
What did he say?
September 30. Mine's September 30.
September 30th.
It's a Libra.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm horrible.
That's why
I
Alina
can't
and I
get
get
over
along
this.
well.
Get out of here.
Don't get me started. Y'all are like this.
No, but I literally am horrible at that stuff. Like, so listening to you two guys, like my kids are phenomenal. I can never outdo their gifts. The gifts they get me.
They're gift givers.
One
yeah.
of the things though, like
They didn't learn that from me, by the way.
if I pay attention to those details right in you, and I'm really going out of my way, and let's say it's your birthday, if we were going out or whatever, and I'm paying attention to all that stuff, and I'm like, you know what? Oh yeah, I know her friend from work. Okay, hey, call her up. Tell her other girlfriends, hey, this is her best friend. Tell her, her favorite cake is, chocolate red velvet.
Right.
So you serve your woman.
Yeah, but so hear me out. So I'm just saying. So if I'm trying to find out all these things, so I'm just saying, if I do it and I go to that length, right,
Okay.
and I bring in her favorite singer but I went to it, and then it's not that big of a deal when it happens. Like, oh, hey, cool, that's nice.
No.
Like, you know what I'm saying? No, because really, like,
Tom, I can agree. I can agree.
I've done it.
That
No.
I
And maybe
agree.
they don't understand, and people just don't even. I don't care if it's for your mom. I don't care who it is for.
Right.
When you go to the lengths and you've taken months into, and you've put yourself out, and it's not reciprocated in a way that's that big of a deal, then it's kind of like, you know what? Yeah, next time, I don't really care. I'm not really going to do it. Or even if I go out of my way and get a beautiful card and I did all this and I thought it was so romantic and pretty and neat and took her to this nicest place. And if it's not given, reciprocated enough, if the juice ain't worth the squeeze, so to speak, then I'm kind of like, And then they wonder, well, how come he doesn't be romantic with me so much
he did
anymore?
It last
how come
time,
he used to do this and that? Well, because there wasn't no real
reciprocation.
Right back. So it really didn't matter that much. So why why put myself out that much? Because it took me all this extra money and all this extra time, and I was running around like crazy trying to do it to get only a little bit out of it. Like, it's just not worth it.
Yep. I can agree. I can agree with Tom.
Sad.
You guys have a bad experience.
I'm just not
I'll
even,
just leave
I'm
it
not
at
even
that.
talking
I'll say I can just agree with
relationship-wise.
Tom.
I'm talking whether it was for just family member, whoever you're doing, your best friend or do with your friends. If you go to and you live and you're doing that stuff and it's just not that big of a deal, like, because I used to get all excited thinking I'm doing all this stuff.
Right.
Like, they're going to love it. They're going to be so ecstatic. And it's kind of like,
Not as much as you loved it.
Thank you. That was nice.
Yeah.
They're like, That's it. It was not.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe I'm creating it to make it more dramatic so that you understand my point.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it's just like, oh, okay, well then.
Now I got to go tell my
Geminis are
kids
dramatic.
thank you because they got me. I was grateful. I thought I was grateful for my mariachis,
Yeah.
but I didn't jump out of the box because I think I was so shocked and so happy. And when I came outside and they were there, like, I'm a crier, but there's so many people there. Like, I was like, don't cry in front of all these people. Like, oh my. So I had to hold back my tears. But now I feel bad. Like, I'm going to go make sure they know that my family.
It was a big deal.
Oh, because you were one of those people he's talking about?
No, I told both my kids and my family and everybody, like, I loved it. I was so excited and thank you. But I wasn't. I don't know. I felt like I
Over
held
the top?
Yeah, I felt like I held back a little bit because there was people there, and I didn't want to like cry.
You're grateful.
No,
I'm
but
just kidding.
and when I cry, once it starts, don't look at me like that. Like, you don't know what goes in my life. Like, you don't know the emotions that flow out of me. Like, once I start crying, it just doesn't stop. So it's literally like.
It was your birthday. You could have cried if you wanted to.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to be like, kids, thank you, love you. Like, everybody pitched in for it because the mariachis are really expensive. So I told everybody thank you, but now I feel really bad. Like,
Yeah, they
thanks
probably
a lot, Tom.
made sure that they played your favorite song.
You're like, she ain't getting
You know,
Love
and
it.
all that
Yeah.
stuff happened.
Her grandma
right?
bringing even.
My grandma,
She
did you-
loved
wanted
it.
to come outside.
She came out, like, she heard her. And it's
She almost
funny
walked. No, I'm kidding.
because she doesn't know who she is or know who I am, but she knows she
You knew
loves
the mariachi.
Yeah.
You knew that song.
Yeah. Well, she did because she kept saying, like, these are such beautiful songs. And I was like, aw. Like,
Wow.
and I think that's another thing is I was so involved with her and our moment because she's at that age, right? And she's going to eventually pass. Like, I wanted to enjoy that movement with her.
See how she just nonchalantly says it?
She's going to eventually pass.
Well, I mean, she's
I just picture Seth saying that
So-
right now.
91.
It cannot
about to be
go off.
92.
It's not clicking off.
Like, I think I say that to like protect myself from when it actually happens.
Yeah.
I'm going to just like, again, why are you looking at me like that?
I'm just looking at you because I'm thinking we're like way off topic.
That's the
We're going-
off-topic look.
And I'm just like, okay. Like, I need to
Reel
reel
it
it
back
back
in.
in.
Really
He's
back. That's why
reeling
we
back
need the
in,
bullet
bro.
points.
Here.
Look at Solomon.
So I was waiting for Solomon to freaking cue in and get us
I was going to see if she was going to cry or not.
But- well, you totally made me feel like crap, so I had to think about that. And I got a note to self to remember later.
Yeah.
Well, okay, back to topic. So, what you were saying is, so you do serve her in more ways than just serving her in actual
all the time. Everything I do, everything I'm doing is thinking about how I'm going to make her life better.
And easier. Yeah.
I texted the other day, what can I do to be a better man for you? Right? What can I do today? And she just like
I need to put that
you're
in my
so
notes.
Like,
cute.
Dad,
You know?
Put that in my notes.
but
Get
like,
outta
I-
here.
Future girlfriend. How can I?
How can I be a better man for you?
right? But I think though, like if
But
when you
that's
love somebody, you care
vulnerable.
about
That's
somebody,
awesome.
you just want to be like
Wait, did
that.
you just say when you love somebody?
That's what I said.
Oh, I
You
was-
said the LOVE
I said
word.
that, yeah.
you heard it
100.
first here.
I don't even know where to go with that one. Now. It's like,
Rabbit hole. Stay focused. On point. Come on.
well, because my questions is like, well, when did you know you loved her? Like, what made her do that? You like, yeah. So we got to stay focused.
Yeah, we'll stay focused or you're going to drift off.
Yeah, but I think that because you do all that, because you said you're so attentive to things, so like that's what makes a woman, and hence why I brought you on. All the things that they're saying sounds like all the things that Michael does, right? Which makes you want to serve.
Well, like
him.
when, for instance, she shows up to the house, like I make sure I go down, meet her down at the car, give me the bags, right? I carry her bags up. When I walk around the street, I put her in the inside. I hold her hand. I'm looking around what's our surroundings. I'm paying attention. I'm protecting her. I'm serving her in all kinds of ways. And that's what she says. Like, that's one of the things. She goes, one of the things that about you, I know that I'm safe whenever I'm with you. And I could be at ease. I could be relaxed. It lets me just kind of be a lady, like, and be like
Feminine.
Feminine.
What
and
did you
let it
just
go.
say? She
Yeah.
gets to be a lady
Yeah.
because you're being the man.
Yeah. But I'll say this though too, like, you know, and I don't think really women that realize this. I'm allowed to be that man and have my head up high because my woman conducts herself like a lady all the time. So don't feel like she's not out there showing it all out. She's not out there giving her phone number, doing all this shit, thinking that, oh, it's not a big deal. I'm just talking to him, just a friend. And so these women are doing all this shit like that, thinking that it's not a big deal, and he's just being friendly, and they think they're getting away with shit, right?
Right.
And they're not being a woman, but yet they want a man. You ain't being a real lady. What makes you
giving
think
out
you
your
deserve a
number
real
to other
man?
guys? Yeah.
Like, but when you're treating me like that, and I know that the way she is, and that's why I feel the way I feel about her, is because she's 100. She's real about it, and it just makes me all the more want to be that way with her. You know, so when we start putting up these roadblocks and be like, well, you know what, he didn't really talk, so I'm going to say this, and then he's going to now not talk to me, and he's not going to say that, and now we're going to keep on playing this game with each other that I'm not going to do this if you don't do that, and I'm not going to say that, and you don't say that, and then, oh, you think that's going to work great for your relationship?
No.
We'll see how great that goes.
That's why I don't think a relationship is 50-50.
I never thought that it was 50-50.
It's a everyday given, because on that TikTok they're watching, remember, she said, like, it's not 50-50.
Yeah.
I think on one day it's 50-50. On another day it's 80-20, right? You pick your partner up, right?
Well, yeah,
that's what I was going to say right now.
Yes, for sure. That person might be down that day, and you're in a better spot, and you're able to kind of lift them up, and then vice versa.
So I have 3 questions. Sure. When you're walking down the street, where's she walking with? Where's she at?
She's walking on the inside.
Okay. Well, some people don't know that. I was just asking.
Sidewalk rule.
Okay. 2, does she pump her own gas?
No.
Not paying for it, just ask, does she pump her own gas?
No.
And do you still open doors for her?
Absolutely.
All the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was just asking. You know, you guys want to say that and look.
I know
at
that. I know it's still rare. Like a lot of guys are not being that way.
But I will drive down the street and I don't care if she's just your friend and legitimately just your friend.
Oh yeah.
I've taught Seth, if you pull into a gas station and she's just your friend, and she gets out and pays for her gas, she better not pump her gas.
No,
like you get out and pump her gas.
My friend Dina she's checked me like that all the time. She'll sit in the car. We go somewhere and she'll just sit and wait in the car. I'm like, come on, we're going. Like, and she's just like, you open the door. Like, I gotta go. Oh, shit.
Remember that was
go
like
back and open the door for her.
The last episode with the pet peeves.
Yeah, and she said she just walks a little slower.
I was like, why'd we stop?
Yeah.
I'm slowing down so that you can open the door.
I'm helping you out.
Yeah.
Keeping me accountable.
Yes, but in today's time, it goes back to there's so many less, and for whatever different reason, I think you and I kind of talked about it. There's less men out there. Chivalry is dead, as you said, Trina. And I wonder if it's because there's more single women raising men, and sometimes they're working so hard and they don't get to maybe raise them the way they would like to raise them or how they thought they would, because now the dad's no longer there and it's by themselves, right? Like I always feel like that. Like the first 11 years of Seth's life, I got to just love him like a mom should. And then boom, I had to change that.
Some men are not ready for the fight. So for some men, you see, you get penalized for it being a real man all the time. You're getting cracked with, oh, you're so, toxic, you're so this, you're so masculine, you da-da-da, and you're just talk shit on as being that man, right? Mm-hmm. Like you're protected, you're overbearing, you're controlling, you're all these things, right? And so some men just probably hear it and they just kind of like, because of the way everything is, they just kind of like fall a little bit in place, little by little, and they go down that, and they're not ready to take on a fight and take on a stand, But, I don't know. I think that's what changes a lot of things. Like when you're not afraid to speak your mind, and you're not afraid to put a line in the sand to where you stand on
like a boundary.
And this is what I'm willing to do. It's what I'm not willing to do, whether you like it or not. I'm gonna stick to my guns. And then with that, they're like, because we talked about this before. If a man can be moved by your manipulating him, by you pushing him this and that way, then that man's not a pillar. That man can't be leaned on, and that man cannot be a leader. And if he can't be any of those things, you can't respect him.
That is true.
Yeah. So the minute he gets pushed, and I'm not saying that the man can't hear you out, and understand your point of view, and then kind of take in what you said and say, you know what, I didn't think about it like that. Now I can make a better decision on whatever the circumstance is. But I'm talking about certain things where he's just really adamant, about whether it's the way you guys are going to raise your kids, the way where you guys are going to live, where, your religion, things like this, where he's just like, hey, I'm really serious about that. When I sit down and we're gonna eat, I'm gonna make sure we pray every freaking time. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Right. And so you got to have these. A guy's got to have that a little bit of authority. And it's crazy because on 1 minute they'll talk, women get upset and they'll talk smack, and then we've heard it before, and then they'll like, hey, I like that you were real about that. And you said it like how it was, Tom. And you're like thinking like, oh, these women are going to be talking so much shit on me and hate that I said all this. But then when you're just real and authentic and this, they're like,
respect
you know what,
you a
man,
little
they
more.
bring that back.
But at the end of the day, a woman wants a real man. She wants that. But she doesn't, once she has it, she doesn't know how to handle it.
Absolutely.
And so that's where the problem
Most women are that way.
But if you sit
or they start to change them. They tried to change them. They came across this masculine man, and this guy was this way.
And it was sexy at first.
And it was sexy because, he had his team, he had his guys, he had his group, he had all these things. He's going on shooting trips. He's this masculine fishing trips. He's being this kind of way, right? And then all of a sudden, like, no, I don't really want you wearing like that. I want you going to the gym with your tank top on. I don't want you, and they try to start a little by little manipulating a little bit how you are, because they don't want everybody else, wanting you too. So they're trying to domesticate you, to bring you down. And as you allow, and you think, well, I'm being a good husband by doing that. I'm gonna be a good dad. I'm gonna be a good husband. I'm just gonna fall into place.
That's when you end up losing
yourself. And as you fall
yourself.
into place, you start to
lose yourself.
Lose yourself and lose respect, from everybody else because you've allowed it. And yeah,
I went.
It's crazy that
I lost myself.
Yeah,
and I did through my marriage. And
because you want to make your marriage work, so you think
I just didn't care. Like I didn't.
Do you think it was harder that you lost yourself because you were going into already a woman with children, so you have to kind of find your way in that?
No, it just over time. I'm just losing myself and just didn't.
But
care.
you're willing, you're in this relationship, so you're trying everything possible.
I was doing everything I could.
It's kind of like a politician, though, right? That, a lot of these guys and stuff, they get to the point where like, I'll just do what I think they want instead of what I think is right and stand my ground for who I am, right? No, will she like this? And all these guys are doing
just trying
that.
to please her.
So these guys, when they're starting to please her, well, she wants this and then the girl's just like, ugh, this guy's fucking lame, because he's doing that,
I got the ick.
Right. Yeah.
Soft.
Yeah.
But I think every woman wants a man, and every woman, like my grandpa did the majority of the cooking, but we wanted to serve him, like I was telling you guys, because we just thought my grandpa was the best thing ever. So it was an honor to serve him. Like anything he asked for. And I always thought my grandma was the strong, loud, dominant one. And I think I said it before on a podcast, and because my grandpa was just an easygoing, happy, biblical man. And we were at her family's barbecue thing, and I must have been 10 or 11. And there was something going on, an argument starting to occur. And my grandma got up to walk over there, and he said, Pat, sit your ass down. And I was like, Pat ain't going to listen to you. Pat sat her ass down so fast. I was like, and the way he said it, he didn't yell at her. He just said it so sternly.
Right.
And she just sat down, and I was like, oh. And that's when I realized, you don't run anything. He runs it all. He just lets you think because he loves her that much. But like he said, once he puts his foot down, that's how it's going to be.
Well, because a woman will say, I want a man. And then when the man starts being the man, it's like, well, hold on a minute. I don't want
too much, man.
Yeah, not too much, man.
Yeah.
I need you to do A, B, C, and D. And then let me be the, you know what I mean? Like,
I need to figure that out. That's why I said this one, you guys were like, even
like, are you going to be able to, when your knight in shining armor comes and he wants to do all those things?
She's going to say, first thing, go to the roof.
Are you going to let him?
Yeah,
So before this podcast, before I started the podcast, I was everything that you guys were talking about. I was that woman. Like, I'm not going to listen to him. You're not coming in my house, right? Like, but... But this is like literally like I think
therapy.
It is because I'm listening to the man side, right? Because I can sit here and say, well, Seth's dad was this and my ex-boyfriend was this. but you never hear their side, right? You only hear my side. So listening to you talk about your marriage and having kids and marrying a woman who had kids, like, because I had Loran, from one guy, and then later had Seth from somebody else. And then listening to you and the type of man you're like, I'm literally to myself, I feel convicted half the time we leave, like, note to self. And I do ask myself that question. Am I going to be able to handle a man coming in?
And being a man.
See, in my house, though. See how in my house and tell me, sit your ass down. Part of me is like, yeah, daddy, I will. But the other part's like, who are you talking to?
No, I see you.
I don't know.
I see her like, oh, okay.
Like,
if it's just all done in the way it's done.
Right.
Out of
I
love
think
and out
so.
of respect and out of
but I'm
all
learning,
that, and not
I'm
crazy.
Listening to you guys as much as I overtalk you guys all the time. Like, I literally listen to everything you guys say, everything, Trina, that you're like listening how you didn't take your whatever it was in your first marriage, good, bad, or indifferent, right? Going into your second one, and you want to take care of him. I'm like, wow, like she really does. Like, it's
He
not
wants
fake.
to take care of me too.
Yeah.
No, yes, but for
you want to
me,
create the ideal situation, and she's
Yeah.
giving it herself another shot at doing it. Just same thing as I want to do.
Well, I picked you up today, and your husband was out front of your house planting some tree or something. I don't know what he was.
Because I just mentioned that it looked kind of like over there. And he said, look, babe, I brought these from Arizona and we're going to plant them there. And then he goes, look, I put up this gate. And I was like, I don't really like that gate, but it looks good. Thank you. Like, so he's out there again.
Look at Tom. Look at Tom.
I said I like the gate. I made a suggestion that maybe not that gate.
I can see Tom pulling up the gate.
No, what I've seen.
He was off today. He was off today. He wasn't on the tape, so it was okay.
I've heard, right? I've heard it. Like, you allow the man to do whatever he thinks he's doing a good job, right? Even though it may not be all that great, but you kind of allow him and don't knock him down too much so that he doesn't not want to do it again. But you but then you kind of little by little guide him to kind of where you want him to be.
Yeah.
Like, and then eventually
I
get him,
plant
like,
the seed
right
and he does his research and then he does it when he wants to do it. And I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Like I said, whatever works for us, and then whatever works for you, works for you. But I like you, and I like to see love and happiness and all that too. Like,
I just think at the end of the day, as we close this up, it's not will you serve your man. It's who are you serving, and are they serving you?
Right.
Jesus.
Both being good to each
I
other.
always. I try to always.
Chewy.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's right.
I try my hardest to serve that man, but sometimes he's like, "Girl." There's that.
He sits down looking at you like
well, like you said, it's convicting. So when you get the conviction, then you take that and you make the adjustments that you
There's moments that I've left here and I thought, you have pushed people away because they tried to be the man and you didn't allow that. And you are that girl that these two guys are talking about. So every time I leave, I get better and better. And, when I get my little chubby monster, when he finds me one day, like,
gonna have the better.
be like, you want some galletas? You want some cookies? Come here, little chubber.
you want some conchas?
Yeah, you want some cafe?
Yeah.
But once again, I am so grateful for you guys. Thank you guys for coming so much. Tom, you feel better? You got everything out you needed to say?
I feel pretty good right now.
You didn't forget anything real quick?
No, nothing. I didn't need to get, too crazy. I was kind of feeling a little crazy.
Oh, you were?
I was a little worried.
Yeah, we
I was
all
like ready.
We pulled up and saw his shirt and it said animal and we were like, oh Lord, where he's like,
gonna unleash the beast.
Yeah.
I guarantee you someone's going to comment something about the animal.
Yeah. I'm like, oh boy. Solomon?
Yes.
He's like, yeah, let's just go. We're good.
No, you guys did good.
Good. Please, TikTok, Instagram, you can watch on YouTube, listen on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Comments. We all have our TikToks. We all have our Instagrams. Comment. And all these things are suggestions or things that we've heard. Tony and I have a running list going that we're going to try to go down the list of people have suggested and things we've come across. But thank you very much. And until next time, what?
please comment on there. I like to always look through, especially I always look on YouTube. So
Do you
look at
like to read the comments?
I read them all the time. That's the only ones I really read. I don't even know how to do Spotify and the other one, whatever.
We'll get you there, Tom. We'll get you there.
He just got social media recently, peeps.
Yeah.
We're trying
Easy
to
grasshopper.
But I always look forward to going there and looking at the comments. You know, like I want to go see what everybody says.
So
For
please,
me, please do it.
now we're gonna get all
Oh,
kinds.
here we go. You're so selfish.
I'm gonna check it out.
It also helps with the algorithm too.
That's
Yes,
right.
algorithm,
Yes, I heard
yes.
that.
All right, thanks, guys. Until next time. Bye.